Good afternoon, KOTA Territory. I'm Jack Siebold. We are here for another Beyond the Soundbite, where we take a look at a story a little bit more than what you actually heard on air. And joining me this afternoon is Juliana Alford, who did the story about Governor Noem inviting gun manufacturers and law-abiding gun owners from California to South Dakota. Why did she do that? What happened? What was it? What was that prompted her to make a political play?
Well, I feel like because this is the first state in the nation to actually put a tax on this stuff, and
You're talking about California.
California, yes.
Governor Newsome did that. Yeah, he did that last month. What was it, 11%?
Yes, 11% tax, which is going to be the first tax in the nation to actually do something like this. I was talking to Long Rifles and kind of how they saw it, and they said that it's a good area to even the political climate here is more friendly. So he sees it as a good thing that we were inviting more manufacturers to the area.
Yeah, the owner, that's Chad Dixon of Long Rifle Inc. in Sturgis, has been around for about 20 years. I remember doing a story with him about 10 years ago on the Sturgis firearms manufacturing industry. At that time, South Dakota was talking about, $400 million economic impact? And that's the same number that the governor used this time around, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to what Chad Dixon has to say. He has some interesting comments that you really should hear. And here we go.
So do you think it would be economically beneficial for more gun manufacturers to come to South Dakota?
Oh, certainly. I mean, any business coming here is helpful, but I've been here 20 years. I came here because of firearms. We're still here, and we've grown, exponentially in that time. So.
And do you think South Dakota would be better than other states like California or somewhere else?
Yeah, the political climate here is a lot more friendly. It's very easy to operate in South Dakota. There isn't a lot of legal hoops that a guy has to jump through. And, the only drawback would be we're kind of in an industrial vacuum. All our materials come from out of state, tooling, machinery, all this stuff. None of it's produced locally, so that's maybe a disadvantage or makes it a little more, just requires you to be more patient.
And would you consider those kind of like the pros and cons, or do you kind of have something else that you would see the pros and cons of bringing in?
Those would be the cons, but they're far outnumbered by just how easy it is and friendly it is to do this stuff here, because in other places it's not so nice.
Do you think that's why you've been open for so long, is because it is like that, or?
It helps, but there's other companies that have flourished for a long time in states where it is harder to do work. So I think it falls back to just being, the saying I like to have is too dumb to quit. If you're going to do this and you got your life in it, it's a lot easier, it's a lot more encouraging when it belongs to you and it's sink or swim. So I don't know if that helps you or not.
So just kind of, let's say they were to bring more manufacturers to South Dakota, do you think it would be kind of like a competition for you if someone was doing the same thing as you, or do you kind of see it as like a benefit?
Competition is healthy. I mean, maybe 2% of our business is conducted locally. I mean, we've been able to reach on a global scale. I've got a dealer network that goes from coast to coast. So if somebody wants to come here and set up shop, more power to them. But I mean, competition makes you get out of bed in the morning. It keeps you hungry and keeps you working.
Okay, that was Chad Dixon of Long Rifle Inc. He said some interesting things, Juliana. He was talking about there was the pros, but he actually had some cons to talk about.
Yeah, the cons kind of included the tooling and machinery coming from out of state. So he said that kind of was a little bit upsetting. But he said the pros do outweigh the cons, which is obviously.
Well, you know, and the fact that it is a global economy, whether people like it or not, and Chad says that he drove that point home, that he does a lot of out-of-state business, so he's in competition with these guys anyway. Right? Now, there is one thing that we didn't really talk about, and that is the employees base. You invite a California manufacturing company, say they had 40 positions. You invite them to South Dakota, they pretty much have to bring their people with them because we have such a low unemployment rate that the available pool of workers, talented, qualified workers, can be a little bit of a challenge for anybody coming in. But it is nice to see that the Sturgis firearms industry is still doing quite well.
Yeah. And they said they've been inviting people to manufacturers for 10 plus years. So it's not like a new thing that's kind of coming about, but this is how Sturgis kind of has been for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a little bit more than the story that we aired Friday. And we'll let you go, and we'll see you again on Beyond the Soundbite. Have a good day.